Just say it's way easier to edit smaller clips together than it is to cut up through a whole big old long clip.
This is true. This is true. All right, is the camera rolling? Camera one, audio one.
To pop. Hello and welcome everybody once again to the We're Already There podcast.
What's up, everybody?
If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. If this is your first time, you're in for a treat. We've got some great stuff to talk about with you today, and we're going to try to start off with something light, but we are going to be getting into some heavy material. If you're not ready for that, you might want to stop listening. Just kidding. You should listen anyways.
Yep. You might just like it.
But Abel had a delightful outing he was telling me about, and he's going to get into it with you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. So I got to see the new Star Wars finally. And, okay, yeah, it kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad. But it didn't have, like, the first one that Disney did, you watch that shit and you're like, oh my god, it's like, just like when I was a kid, this is incredible, and you feel like you're caught up in the moment, and I didn't get that shit here.
I personally haven't seen any of them.
Oh, god. Well,
I've seen all the other ones.
There's more important things in life, but Star Wars holds a special place in my heart. But it was more like Lord of the Rings meets Pandora. They tried to do too much with it. But the thing that stuck out the most for me was they took some serious swipes at the military industrial complex and like the destruction of nature and systems of control and sparking the revolution to start that. And I was like, damn, everyone's going to see this. And it's so transparent, like what they're saying. Like, how can they get away with that? It's basically calling for a revolution, like through allegory. And I just thought, I couldn't believe it.
Which we need more of.
Yeah, or it just needs to be more honest.
More straightforward.
Yeah. Or people just need to wake the fuck up and like, we're already there. Like, this is like a warning. Like, look, like, we have problems.
Flags. Bright lights.
We need to address them.
Sirens.
But unfortunately, it's through a sci-fi movie that just talks about lighting the spark and not anything. It's obviously not based in reality, so it can't help us do anything but inspire.
But as art should. Art isn't there to do the job for you. It's there to show you that there's a job that needs to be done.
Wow, that was a good point.
And art can't do it for us. But it could definitely inspire us. Inspire the young. Inspire the old. Open people's eyes to the things that are going on.
Yeah, and this podcast might be the most artistic thing I've ever done. I feel justified.
Other than cooking.
Well, yeah. That wasn't artistic.
Crafting plates for people. The artisanal art of culinary.
Yeah, but it didn't feel artistic. It just felt like, I don't know, just smash and bang, make it look pretty. Make it look organic. Just throw the shit on the plate and then put a red thing and a blue thing, or a red thing and a green thing, and you're like, oh, it looks great. I'm artistic. I am a fine artiste.
Although you may not have been able to, in all cases, come up with your own recipes and really have control over the thing you're creating, you're still creating art. It's more on the line side of like production art.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work that way though in kitchens. It's more like, this is old or this is cheap. What can you do with it? Not all the time. So it's not like visual art where you know what you want. Like if you're gonna go do a visual art thing, like you know what you want, right? Or like you know what you're gonna need. Well, I guess you could apply the same thing. Like I have these things, so this is what I'm gonna use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's kind of always the case in kitchens.
Because there's a bottom line and there's money that has to be made and it's stuck within the particular system that we all have become a part of, whether we like it or not. Doesn't matter how local you buy, unless you're trading directly without giving back somehow to the government, then you're just part of the system too.
Yeah, and me and you talked about, well, I texted you late at night when I was drunk, about bartering. Like, that would be so cool, because I mentioned on the podcast how every barter, it takes away power from the government or whoever, the indefinite they, because there's no taxes, there's no money involved. It's like two people are getting what they want, but it only works on a want basis. It doesn't work on a need basis. Like, I use the metaphor Like if me and my buddy Jake exchange tomatoes and shrimp, that's great and that's fun. But I can't trade the diesel that I need to run my tractor for the diesel he needs to run his boat. Like we got to buy that.
Unless you've got a buddy Chet with a refinery, and then maybe you could go and trade him enough of X, Y, or Z to get some of that diesel from him.
I don't know how many Chets there are that own refineries. I don't think there's many. I think it's more of like, the indefinite they. There's multiple businessmen.
I'm just saying, if there was a Chet, and that Chet had like a small, organic, locally run, sustainable refinery.
Well, you could do that, like with byproduct from cows and livestock. Like you totally could have someone that collects all your cow shit and turns it into, I don't know what the fuck it's called, but they basically ferment the cow poop and collect all the methane and the natural gases that come off of that. And then you burn it, which like denatures it. It's still not great, but it denatures it a little bit. And you're also not, it really offsets oil, obviously, because you're not using oil. But it's not the best thing, but we got a lot of cow shit in America.
Yes, in America,
that would be the most permaculture thing ever. Like, turn a problem into a solution. Like, we got too much cow and pig shit. We'll use it to run the tractors. That sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah, we'll just do that. That'll be easy.
Farms might be a little stinkier, but I think people will be okay with it in the long run.
Yeah. Well, the government's going to shut down.
I've heard nothing of this. It's probably because the government already shut down and they were unable to disseminate that particular information.
Well, no, it's like, they do the government shutdowns. I don't know what it means. I don't think anyone knows what it really means. I'm sure they do. But like they can't agree on like somebody does. They can't agree on a budget, so it like shuts down for days. I don't know. I try to read about it and it just piles of bullshit. Bullshit.
Oh, well, there's this and that, and because of that and this, we can't do anything. So our hands are tied by bureaucracy. Government.
Yeah, but isn't that funny though? It's like, the government's just going to shut down.
Like, roads they were just like, nope, we're not roads anymore. We're now gullies.
Well, it happened years ago. Like, it shut down for like 12 days or something. But what does that mean?
Pretty much literally nothing. Because nothing happened, or everything continued to happen, I should say, as if it wasn't there. I'm sure there was some people who were affected, but the general masses stayed doing the same old do.
Well, shit, Martin. That brings me to one of my favorite points. Maybe it's because we're not living in America anymore.
And what do you mean by this? What do you mean we're not living in America anymore? This is America, the land of the red, white, and blue. Stars and stripes. Star-spangled banner and hot dogs and hamburgers. Pew, pew, pew. Fireworks. What do you mean we're not living in that great country anymore?
First of all, I love all of those things.
As you should, as a red-blooded American.
No, fuck yeah, I'm definitely American. But I don't think we live in America anymore. We're already there. It took, like, the indefinite they took over. And I think we've known that. And I think you could look at our education system, what I heard, the educational industrial complex.
The educational industrial
complex and the military industrial complex and fuck all these fancy words. Like, we know that there's power. The fucking FCC can regulate our internet. No one elected them.
It's bullshit.
It's not, and they have more control over us than the government via information. It's the most important thing we have these days. It's the only thing that keeps like a populace educated and knows what's going on. And now people who we didn't vote in get to fucking regulate that. That we're not in fucking America. That's not an American ideal. That's not how it fucking works.
Well, I'm glad you elaborated on it because I agree with that. That is some bullshit.
Yeah.
That we as Americans need to elect people who are going to regulate things as important as water, like information.
Yeah. We should have a say in that. That's what America was founded on. The Republic was founded on people being in control and informed and being able to vote about who's in charge of what they do. The Federal Reserve, that shit. America like, we fought a war, like the Revolutionary War, like a huge part of it was fought over, like, no, I'm not going to say that. Part of America was founded on not having a Federal Reserve, because it's a system of control that controls the government, and it can fuck up the government, and it fucks up people, and it's not good for us. We don't elect them, and they control our money. We don't elect them. We don't know who they are. We have no power over them, but they can put our government into debt, ergo us into debt.
Every dollar we spend, our country is going into debt for.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like it works. That doesn't sound like America.
Doesn't sound like America at all.
No.
So, not my America, at least.
No.
Not the America that our forefathers fought and died for, that my forefathers built this country for. I don't think they wanted to be slaves for a bunch of fucking losers who are in debt. That's some bullshit. It's being slaves to slaves. It doesn't make sense. How are slaves going to have slaves? That's stupid.
Damn. Oh, man.
Quick deviation, just to lighten it up here. We're getting a little dark, a little fast. Things are happening that are also un-American, but they're also just really stupid. People eating Tide Pods.
I saw that picture.
Pod Challenge. This is insane. I don't understand. If any of these people's parents had washed their mouths out with soap as a child, they would never, ever, for fun, put soap in their mouth. Because they know it's terrible. They know how bad it is. But that's one of those things that got lost, like spanking. Hitting your kids is it's bad because you shouldn't hit your kids. Fucking spare the rod, spoil the child. That's why we've got generations of spoiled kids eating fucking soap and posting it on the internet. The Tide Pod Challenge is dumb, but if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah,
because you're dumb.
Go as hard as you can on it. If you're going to do it, go hard.
I want to see 3.
YOLO.
I've only seen people do 1 or 2. Actually, I haven't even seen 2. I've only seen 1. Let's see it. Let's see 6 Tide Pods at once. The Tide Pod Challenge shouldn't be, can you do it? It's how many can you do? Let's see people do more.
Remember we talked about controlling the population?
Yeah.
Maybe we can make like a bleach pod challenge.
The bleach pod. Oh my god, that reminds me of a meme I saw. It was like a thing of Ajax, and there's line racks up, and it's like, oh, you still doing Tide Pods?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bring it. Let's do a little bit of that.
Rack up lines of Ajax. Let's see those videos, kids. Let's see those videos.
You said you wanted to get away from the dark shit. Now we're talking about kids kill themselves.
No, not killing themselves. Making videos. Just because you're making a video of something doesn't mean you actually have to do that thing. You could put powdered sugar and then put the Ajax next to it. No one would ever know. It's cinema, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. If you're going to be entertaining, be entertaining. Don't be stupid. This is all in good fun.
So let me just get this straight. You are directly encouraging people to trick other people into snorting Ajax.
No.
Oh.
No. I'm saying you should trick people into thinking that you are.
Yes. I thought I'd do something for the camera. Not awkward. All right. Well, I tried to come up with a solution to all of our anger. It's just one. But, and this is what I told you the other day, like, if you want to know how we should fix and how we should run our country, America, we probably should just look at the fucking instruction manual, which is the Constitution, which is, it's a masterpiece of an enlightened society trying to make a new form of government before all the fuckery hit. And we didn't study that I didn't study that in high school. We never had any rhetoric, any homework, any worksheets that directly related to the Constitution. I can't recall a goddamn thing. All I know is that my government teacher, government was a half a year. It was one semester, and I got kicked out of class daily because the teacher was clearly indoctrinating students with her own political agenda, and not everyone had this experience, but this is mine. She had her own political agenda and did not talk about anything that mattered. Or if you brought up something like a different point of view, it was like she couldn't handle it. And you can leave class, like, well, fuck yeah. I'm out. See you later. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell.
I did not have a similar experience. My government teacher was probably inspired by The Daily Show. His government class was Daily Show style. So it was a lot of like pop culture politics and kind of like what was in the news is what we would be talking about.
Well, that's what my government class was like. But it's like, that's not, like, we're in government class. Like, how does our fucking government run? I'm about to be 18. I need to know this shit. Why? It's like the same thing. Like, why? Well, we should learn trigonometry because that's important. We need to advance as a species. But like, why isn't home ec important? Why isn't learning how to? I'm not original in this, but like, why don't we learn how to balance a checkbook and do our taxes in high school? Why don't we learn the Constitution? Why don't we learn like labor laws and shit like that? Because we don't live in America.
Because they're not trying to make good Americans. They're trying to make good citizens.
Exactly. And that's loosely citizen.
Loose.
They don't want citizens. The indefinite they. And like with immigration too. Like if you want to know how to handle immigration, I know this is pretty radical and it probably doesn't really work, but fuck it. Look at what it says on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Is it? Anyone remember that?
Right? That is something that has been driving me nuts in light of what our president, the American president, our American president said that he doesn't want immigrants from shithole countries, which is insane. It's literally spitting in the face of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And our forefathers. For everything they fought and died for, he's spitting on. And people are cheering and agreeing with it.
Yeah. Well, the current administration, as well as just, like I said, maybe in the 40s or the 30s it all happened, and like, we've just been negating all of the effort that our founding fathers of America and everyone that came before us in America that built this country, we've been negating everything they worked for, and it's only been a couple decades.
That's what happens when people raise children and don't raise adults. And when it's society doesn't know how to create adults, they only know how to raise children. And then you just have a bunch of children running around thinking they're adults.
Yeah, I feel that on the reg. I don't know. I'm not even that old. I'm not old at all. I just turned 30. But yeah, sometimes I've run into, like, now I'm getting to the point where I run into adults and I have to work with adults. When I say adults, I mean people who are much older, like, who've got 20, 30 years on me, who are in their 50s and 60s, who still suck. Like, they still don't get it. It's like, I don't know if that relates, but...
And just because they've done it and have been doing it, they think it's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
People are like, no, you're wrong because I'm older. I've been doing this. Well, doesn't mean you're doing it right or couldn't be doing it better. Like, doesn't mean there's not room for improvement.
Yeah, exactly. That's humanity's main drive besides fucking.
Yeah, right.
It's
Getting
to
better,
survive and
making progress.
adapt, progress. Like, what's innate in humans. It's why we built tools and then the internet, because we have a drive in us to create and manipulate and change our world around us. But I don't feel that anymore. Like, I look at people around me, maybe not in this room, but I look at, the fucking assholes at the line in Sprouts. And it's just like, this is tough. God, we're fucking mean. I like a lot of people. I think a lot of people are great. And I think a huge problem is, like, we don't feel like we can have these if you talk like this, If you really have a problem with the core of America, not even America, just the core of our society, people don't like to hear it. And you offend them. People get offended by real shit, and that sucks. I find myself in trouble a lot for just being honest. And people are like, well, you shouldn't say that. It's like, well, it's true. They're like, well, yeah, it's true. Of course it's true, but you just shouldn't say it. It's not nice.
Which is like so ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying everything about this whole safe space thing is bad, but the direction that it's going in is a bad one. It's a world where people can't be themselves because they could be sent to jail for assaulting someone because they said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a dangerous place. Like, when people can't speak their minds, people don't communicate. And when people can't communicate, we become further and further isolated. And as we continue to isolate ourselves by creating all of these social dynamics that we have to abide to, you get such fucking watered down garbage conversation. Like, sup. So, like, that's like as far as people can go.
Oprah for president. She speaks good. Sup.
Oprah, she speaks so well, doesn't she?
I don't want to talk about how she doesn't know politics, and politics takes like criminal people who will fucking kill people and know how to put shit under the rug. I don't like to hear about that. I like Oprah.
You know, I'd vote for a Clinton still.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd vote for, well, I don't know, I would vote for him if he was like not sick. Something's wrong with that dude. He looks, but all power to him. I hope he has like, you know, oh, that's wrong. I was going to say, I hope he's enjoying his syphilis. Because it's probably what it is. Let's be real. But I hope he enjoyed the acts that he did to obtain his syphilis. And I hope he's riding that dementia.
That's more, I think, of what's going on. He's just he's run his race. He's on that backslide, you know, just jogging it out because he doesn't know what else to do.
Well, on the topic of like better human beings, and the topic of just not being afraid to say what's important, it was Martin Luther King Day recently, and there's been all sorts of quotes about him, or that he said, and one that stuck out to me hard was, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." And that's so true. It's like it starts to end, and it starts to end when we stop talking.
Yeah, it's
honest talking.
When when we're just speaking at each other and no longer having true conversations, we're just dead. We're just meat sacks moving around, pushing the clock, putting food in our mouths so we could shit, and it's just waiting for death. That slow, long march of not mattering at all. Just
that's cool, dude. Though we have a Percocet. That's better.
Xanax.
Yeah, a little Percocets, a few Xanax,
purple drink.
That purple drink, and you'll march happily to the end.
Zoloft.
Yeah. Ugh.
All the good stuff.
Gross. Yeah, we need to talk about that again, but more eloquently than we did before. We need to get into the pharmaceutical thing.
Oh, God, yeah. Fuck the fact that they're going to hospitals to sell hospitals drugs. Like, I understand that that's their jobs, but, like, hospitals should order from the company. Like, if a sales rep goes to make sure that, yeah, we exist as a company, cool. But if they're going, like, making weekly, monthly visits to be like, hey, we've got these new drugs, check them out, super sexy. Like, we've got these displays that go with them.
You'll make this much if you prescribe this much. We'll give you this if you prescribe this much, blah, blah.
Like, that's insane.
No, that's just, like, super legit drug dealing. I mean, you gotta admire it.
They do it well.
They do. Oh, Martin. Abel. I'm excited to bring some people on here eventually. I'm feeling it. have some good conversations. I think the time has come.
Yeah, no.
I kind of want to read this thing now.
Okay.
I think it's ready.
I think it's about time.
All right. So I wrote this a while ago and I forget about it all the time. And this shit got me. Well, first of all, this podcast has been like I said, one of the most artistic things we've ever done. Also, one of the most like selfish, like self-absorbed things we've ever done. Self-indulgent.
Narcissistic.
Like I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna ask people to listen for a half a fucking hour. And you're gonna listen to my ranting and my raving. And like maybe 3 minutes is good. We're working on it.
Figuring it out.
But I read this and I kind of re-inspired myself to care about what's going on in the world and going on in our country. And it just kind of fired me up and wanted me to take almost like a more serious direction with what I want to say here and what we want to do. But I'm starting to cool off. It's cool. We'll do it slowly. But nonetheless, I still want to read this. And I wrote this when I was living in a tent in Modi'in, which is the boonies of Israel. So I went through one of the most, one of the most profound experiences of my life when I was there. I lived there for a year on like a pretty off-the-grid permaculture farm in Israel. And I wrote this when I was by myself for 2 weeks, living in a tent on the farm, but I hadn't seen anybody in a while. Most people left, and I wanted to make a point that I just went out and picked stuff, and I like trapped some birds, and I was in a really like monk state, and I had just been, sustaining my own needs off the land, for 2 weeks, and at the end of it, this just kind of like came out one night. Anyways, without further ado. This is untitled, but here we go. I've never read this out loud before. Okay, let me take a sip of a fine Pilsner. Okay. This is written January 26, 2014. What's my opinion of the world today, of society, of religion, of the meaning of life? I don't know. Forming an opinion is hard, and as I get older and more disenchanted with the world, it only gets harder. I can still dream, though, and when I dream of a few things like this. I dream that every scrap of paper money is thrown into the compost pile, that every metal coin is melted into shovels and pitchforks. Every government building is gutted to make room for farmers' markets. I dream of life without systems of control, where wars are fought with sticks and stones, where the only laws are those of nature. I imagine a world where international trade means a bushel of corn for a sack of coffee, without imaginary lines marking imaginary places with imaginary names. A world where everybody reaps what they sow. I pray that for the day that humans live with the world, not just on it, for renewable resources, for food for all, where there is no waste. A world where our population is balanced, for the forests to expand and the deserts to recede, for the return of the buffalo to the prairies and the cod to the oceans. I wish we humans will do away with our sense of entitlement, for humans to understand our differences, embrace them, and respect each other for them. I dream we will soon understand there is no magic pill. The problems we face will take lifetimes to resolve. I dream the next revolution will be the de-evolution of our unsustainable society and the evolution of the individual spirit. Thank you.
Very eloquently put. I dig it.
Yeah. I know that sounds super anti-American, but you're wrong. I'm not anti-American. I could change one word in this, and it changes the whole thing. If I change government buildings to corporate buildings or something like that, that's actually what I meant. I don't want America to burn down. I want us to take America back. And that's all I have to say on that. I'm burnt.
I like it. Also got a little piece of writing to share. It's along the same lines. It's a little shorter. It's not as wordy. Similar message, but not quite. It's a poem called Anarchy is Peace. War is a product of government, greed in the heart of our world leaders, cutting down redwoods and beautiful cedars, damming, polluting our rivers and lakes, while they sit at home eating lobster and steaks. They sell us shirts stained with blood for years, ruining foreign economy, bringing war for years. You sponsor conflict with your dirty jewelry. Just look around, who's the fool, you or me? It's time again for a blue-collar revolt. The aristocracy too cushy and comfortable. People shouldn't fear their government, but the other way around. Our unified voice silent, not a single sound. They keep us isolated in plain sight. Speak up now. It's time to fight.
Damn. And if you need any more inspiration to do something or to just start thinking about that, we're already there. I don't know. Go watch Star Wars.
Pew pew pew!
Go watch the new one. Oh. Damn, dude, we're at half an hour already.
There it is.
It already happened. We're already there. I'm cashed, yo. I can't. Oof.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to hear you. Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Day.
See you guys next
Whenever you
week.
listen.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll have someone with us. We will have someone with us.
We do have someone with us tonight, and they're helping out. Thank you, Ray.
Woo! All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. We'll
Peace.
see you next week.